Hello, everyone. For this presentation, I'll be looking at an article regarding athletes' perceptions of preparation strategies in open skilled sports. And my name's Keegan Nicholson. So, for the purpose of this study was to qualitatively explore the perceptions of athletes from open skilled sports regarding the structures and functions of their preparation strategies. So what are open skilled sports? Open skilled sports are, for example, are football, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, rugby, etc. Their interactions between competitors is less consistent. The event is dependent on external factors, including the weather and an opponent's skill. Preparation strategies include pregame rituals, such as maybe handshakes, warm-ups, or pre-performance routines that athletes use to prepare themselves to perform at their best. This could be forms of stretching and could be considered as warming up. While numerous quantitative studies have been done on this topic, there's been less qualitative research conducted. And this could be because it's easier to quantitatively look at this data, as it's easier to reach out to more athletes and ask them these questions. So the methodology it used, obviously qualitative description. It allowed the researcher to explore the preparation strategies in the athlete's own language and words. So it allowed the athlete to kind of expand on any strategy that maybe they use or they've seen a competitor or a teammate use. It looked at 19 high-performance open-skilled athletes. And the data was collected via semi-structured interviews with a flexible interview guide. It had contained open-ended questions so that the athlete could expand on any question that they kind of leaned on or felt most applied to them. So these questions may have include what rituals they used, what superstitions they might have, how they think that their rituals affect their performance, and how their rituals might look to their coaches or other athletes. And it also asked the athlete to describe a competition where they felt they were able to go through every ritual and what was the outcome of that game or competition. But it also, another question was the adverse of that. It asked what competition or game where they weren't able to kind of go through their full routine and how that made them feel and how they were able to compete after not preparing how they might want to. I know personally when I played, if I didn't prepare properly, it felt like I wasn't going to play as well. I don't think it actually went across that way, but there was recently in the fall. I'm a golfer and I played for the university team here at CBU, and we went to a tournament up in Antigonish, and I wasn't able to fully prepare properly because we were had to travel that morning to go play, so I wasn't able to fully go through a routine, and I didn't play as well. I don't think it was because of that, but it could have played a factor into it, I think. So finding preparation strategies. So each player is very different. They go through different routines. It could be what they need to get their body right. It could also be what they need to kind of feel like feel mentally that they're able to perform. So preparation strategies were perceived as either self-focused or group-focused. So in the top right-hand corner here, there's a picture of a hockey team preparing for a game. It looks like they're just kicking a soccer ball around, which they are, but it's a good way to kind of stay loose. It's almost like a team bonding exercise, and allows for both team warm up, but also individual warm up as each person's kind of warming up individually, and they can play or they cannot. They can more focus on themselves if that helps them perform at their best. And one player also mentioned how players use eye black. So it says guys have certain designs of eye black that they always do before every game, and it's always the same design. So in the bottom right hand corner here is a picture of Tom Brady at the Super Bowl, and Tom always uses this form of eye black when he plays, and it could be that it's simple, but other players maybe use eye black as a design to kind of express their personality. It could also make them feel ready for the game. They could feel maybe mean, or they could use it as a form of intimidation against other players. And developing skills from role models. So I'm not going to read this quote. I'll give you a second there to read it if you want. But basically, it's taking rituals that you see from other players and using them and putting them in your routine. So taking something that you see a teammate or a competitor do, and then putting it in your routine to help you play better. You could do this once and never do it again, but one thing that I've also noticed is some players do different things for different games depending on what they need. If they need to feel loose in a certain area, if they've coming off an injury, they might prepare differently for that competition. And more preparation strategies. Preparation strategies can be fine-tuned over time. One player explained how their preparation strategy changed from midget to junior to pro. And it could be doing different things for different years. Some players might do something 1 year and then never do it again. They might do it one game and never do it again, or they could do the same thing for 5, 10, 15 years. One quick fact is Sidney Crosby always eats a peanut butter jelly sandwich before every game. And that's one thing he's been doing since he played in junior. And he's been doing that for probably 15, 20 years now. Results in optimal performance. So players may feel more ready to perform and play well. And it helps for bonds between teammates. So in the bottom left-hand corner here is a picture of the New Zealand national rugby team. And they do the haka before every game. And it's a form of maybe team bonding, a pre-performance ritual that allows them to kind of express themselves. And it also can be used as a form of intimidation. If you've ever watched it, it's pretty intimidating for the other team to kind of watch and realize that you have to play 80 minutes against this team who look pretty mean when they do this. So the critiques on this study. So the use of qualitative description methods and semi-structured interviews did work for this particular study. The author was able to gain insight from athletes, and they were able to describe their preparation strategies in their own words, and maybe expand, give more description on what that athlete maybe does before every game. One area that was kind of seemed to confuse the study was the fact of pre-performance routines, rituals, warm-ups, and superstitions. They were almost used interchangeably, where they kind of were used as the same word. So the question could arise of what's the significant difference between a warm-up, a ritual, a superstition, or a routine? So does it matter if a hockey player tapes his stick before every game? Does it matter if he puts his left skate on before his right skate? That sort of thing. I know personally, I always put my right skate on first when I play hockey, and I've started to do it just with my everyday routine. I put my right shoe on first. I put my right sock on first. Is that a routine? Is that a superstition? Is it a ritual? I think it could be any one of those. It might have started as a routine, then became a ritual, and now it's a superstition that it's something I have to do. But it's a very interesting question that could come of this study. Other questions. So one area that the methods, this method could be used, it could be used in closed skill sports. This method could assist the understandings of golfers. As I'm a golfer, it's kind of something I could see being asked of us is the kind of perception of the effectiveness of a pre-shot routine or pre-swing routine. Maybe a swing thought or ritual that you might have, kind of looking at that and seeing if that matters from how you might hit the shot. And finally, here is the reference for this article. As I mentioned before, it's athletes' perceptions or perspectives. Sorry, athletes' perspectives of preparation strategies in open skilled sports, and it's from the Journal of Applied Sports Psychology. Thank you.